James Gunn publicly mocked AI-generated art, on the record, more than once. His own studio's behind-the-scenes video just caught them using it. And if you're a concept artist or an illustrator who's ever had a studio or a client look you in the eye and say, "We'd never replace that with AI," I need you to actually watch what just happened, because this is exactly the promise that just broke. Here's what happened. A behind-the-scenes featurette for the new Supergirl movie, uploaded straight to Warner Bros.' own official YouTube channel, showed director Craig Gillespie and Jason Momoa reviewing concept art for Momoa's character Lobo. Fans watching immediately flagged the art on screen. Soft, blurred, that unmistakable AI look. Here's why that's not just an aesthetic complaint. DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn said back in 2023, on the record, that there would be no AI in DCU films. In 2025, he publicly mocked AI-generated Batman art on his own Threads account. DC Comics' own president, Jim Lee, stood on stage at a comic convention and said, in his words, DC Comics will not support AI-generated storytelling or artwork. That's not a vague company policy. That's the two most senior people at this studio, on the record, promising exactly what their own footage just contradicted. I've sat in production meetings where a client tells you they want it to look handmade, and the same week quietly asks how to trim the budget. That gap between the public promise and the private shortcut isn't new to me. But watching it happen live, on camera, from the company that made the promise the loudest, that lands different. Here's the detail that makes this worse, not better. Lobo has been a published character for over 40 years. There is no shortage of real comic art to reference. A human concept artist wasn't optional because the character was new or undocumented. The reference material has existed since 1983. That wasn't a resourcing problem. It was a choice. Warner Bros. Pulled the video within hours of it going viral. No statement from Warner Brothers, no statement from DC Studios, no statement from Gillespie, and one unconfirmed report. I want to be honest that this part isn't verified, suggests similar AI use may be happening in the writer's room for Gunn's next film, Man of Tomorrow. I'm not stating that as fact. I'm telling you it's the next thing worth watching for. Here's my honest take. A public no AI policy was never actually protection. It was a statement of intent. And intent doesn't survive contact with a budget or a deadline unless someone's actually checking. If you're a concept artist or illustrator, the real move here isn't trusting the policy. It's asking directly, on every job, exactly what tools are being used on the production before you sign on, because apparently even the company that says it loudest can get caught doing the opposite. If you've ever had a company promise you one thing publicly and do the opposite privately, hit like. Comment, concept artists and illustrators, has a studio or client ever told you they wouldn't use AI and you found yourself wondering if that was actually true? Send this to a concept artist or illustrator who needs to see this. And follow me. I read the boardroom promises and the behind-the-scenes footage, so you don't have to find out the hard way.